Alright guys, welcome back to the shop. Here's going to be our next little project. Got this a few days ago. Haven't done anything with it yet. Looks like it's a yard machines, a MDT. Pretty standard little lawnmower. Bunch of these brands are made by MDT. But anyways, this is a pretty simple one. Not a lot to it. It's one of the cheaper models. 42-inch cut. You can tell it's in fairly decent shape. It's got a little power mower, 420cc motor, little gas tank. Didn't have a battery in it. As far as condition, it's in pretty good shape. There's not a lot of use on it. From what I understand, the guy I bought it from, he said it was used one season and then just put away. I think it was probably used a little bit more than one season. I looked at the manufacture date on here and it was manufactured in 2014. So 6-year-old tractor. I asked what was wrong with it. He said the only thing that he knew was it needed a new starter, and that the old starter had been removed, which it goes right there. I asked if he had the old starter. He said he didn't. So anyways, I don't know anything else about it as far as if the engine runs or anything like that. He said it did. So the only thing it was lacking was the starter. So I have a new starter that we're going to put on it, and we'll have to toss a battery in there and we'll see what she does. So hopefully this will be an easy fix and we'll have another decent machine. Alright, let's start by getting this hood off. And then now we'll go ahead and get this top shroud off. Not sure if these are original. They're kind of a, looks like a different kind of a nut there, acorn nut type with a little flange on the bottom. We'll get this off and give us a little more room to work. Okay, got that off. It doesn't look too bad in here. There's a little bit of debris. Nothing bad though, no mice nest or anything like that. So we should be able to get in here a little closer now and kind of see what's going on. So here's your new starter, and it fits in just like this. A couple studs here. And I'm pretty sure this is going to go on the outside. So wiggle that on there. Move you right over here. The light keeps going out on me. Okay. The only thing we have to do is connect this hot, and I'm going to get a 10 millimeter. I believe it's 10. Get you where you can see a little better. Alright, that's just gonna go right over there. All right, so toss a battery in here and just see what we get. All right, I got that battery in. Let's go ahead and see what she'll do. hear the solenoid back here, but it's not really doing what it's supposed to be doing. Kind of sounds like it's squealing. Let me get in here where we can see the solenoid, and we might have to change that out. Okay, so we're right here at the back of this mower, and right up under here is going to be your solenoid, and it's just basically an on-off switch to put power to the starter. That's what I was hearing make a kind of a whining noise. So there's really no real easy way to get to it other than undoing it and then pulling it out the battery where the battery box is. Okay, so here is your solenoid, and basically this is going to be your power from your battery. It goes into your solenoid. You're going to have this wire right here. It's going to be attached to your ignition switch, and when you turn your ignition on, it basically turns this solenoid on, turns the switch on like a light switch, and the power runs through to your other post here, and that goes to your starter. Your green is just a ground. So we're going to pull that out of there, and we will see if we can take a meter to it and see if it's working properly. I've got another one, and if this one's no good, then we'll switch it out. It may just be not getting a good ground. I'm going to imagine that it's probably just a bad solenoid. So let me get that out of there, and then we'll take a look at it on the bench. Alright, so what I've got set up here is I've just got a battery, some jumper cables on it, and here's that solenoid that we just pulled out of there. And basically, here's your power leads. This just allows power to flow through here to your starter. And this is your switch leads. These are from your, there's be a ground, and there will be a power from your ignition switch. So you want to hear this thing click, and if you touch these leads, you can hear it clicking. So that's good. Makes me think that just wasn't grounded properly. Here's another solenoid that we have. This one, we could use it if we needed to. We'll check the same thing. Yeah, that sounds good too. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and reinstall this. Make sure our ground is really good on some bare metal. And check that battery, make sure that battery that we put in there has enough juice, and we'll give it another shot. Okay, I got that solenoid button back up, checked all the grounds, make sure that they were connected well, and put a new battery in it, or a different battery. The other one seemed to have a little bit lower of a charge, so this one's fully charged. So let's see if we can get it to turn over. Okay, so turns over. Next step is we need to see if it's got spark, and then we will go from there. There's a little fuel in the tank, so I'm going to try to actually see if it'll run. If it does, and we know we have spark, we may need to pull that carburetor and get it clean. So let me throw it on choke real quick, and we'll see if we can get it to fire all the way up. Okay. So we'll go ahead and put a spark tester on that, make sure that magneto is good. And then we'll go from there. So let me get you set up for that. Alright, so we want to see spark right here. Alright, so we should be good on the spark plug. So the next step is going to be probably the carburetor. I'm assuming the carburetor is probably pretty nasty if it's been sitting as long as he said with fuel in it, because there is fuel in the tank. So we need to get into that carburetor. Alright, let's go ahead and disconnect that fuel line first. Okay, let's see, that should just pull off of the front. Now I missed my... Alright, so we need to disconnect this shutoff. Let's see here. Looks like there is a there's a little wire right here that goes to your magneto. Looks like it's going to the magneto. That's going to be turning your emergency shutoff on and off. So we need to get that unplugged. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unhook these and put these back on this main unit here, because that's your throttle assembly, because I don't want those to go away and me not know how to put them back on. Okay, let's go to the bench and we'll take a look at this carburetor. All right, let's see if we can get into this carburetor a little bit and see how bad it is. So far the choke feels okay, so that's good. That came off easier than I thought. Alright, so we'll leave those gaskets. Those look alright. There's no reason to mess with those. We'll just kind of clean that off with a rag. Let's go ahead and remove this safety valve. More than likely we're going to be putting this in the parts in this ultrasonic cleaner, and that won't be able to go in there. And if this is stuck, that'd be one reason it's not allowing fuel in. So we will check that. And there's quite a bit of stuff around that doesn't look like it's moving at all. Yeah, that was stuck in the up position. That's what it's supposed to be doing. So we'll clean that up with a wire wheel and some cleaner, some carb cleaner. And we'll make sure that that's functioning properly. Okay. There's quite a bit of fuel in there, which tells me that it was getting fuel, but it wasn't allowing that fuel to get into the engine. Because of this shut off right here is probably what was preventing that. But since we have it off, we'll go ahead and clean everything up in the parts cleaner and make sure it's all clean. This is going to be your nut that holds the ball on. Sometimes these are just, or it's not a nut, it's a bolt. Sometimes they're just a bolt, sometimes they're an actual jet, which this one is a jet. You can see it sucks in fuel here. Fuel comes out through the top here, up into the carburetor for the fuel air mixture. So So we'll clean that up. Gasket looks okay. There's a little gunk in there, not too bad. We'll clean that up in the parts washer. An ultrasonic cleaner. I keep saying parts washer, but it's an ultrasonic cleaner. There is a O-ring there that may have to be replaced, but we will look at that later. Here's your float. There's a that float controls the needle in the seat. That needle is going to be right there. You just pull this pin. We'll pull that. There's going to be your needle. This one's got a small spring that captures it in there. The needle looks pretty good. Float looks okay. I don't see any cracks or anything. Alright, let's see if this jet comes out. Yep, this jet should come out. Okay, I got a screwdriver here that's going to fit. See if I can turn this light on, give you a little bit better light. Alright. Another one of your jets. I can see through it, but barely. So we will clean that. And I don't see any other removable jets in here. So we will clean that as well. I did notice one thing while I was sitting here working on this. I don't know if you can tell. This right here. A little bit right here. That's water in the gas. That water settles to the bottom of the fuel. It's heavier, and but it causes a lot of problems. I'm not really surprised seeing it, being that the mower set for possibly several years without being used. So that water gets into that fuel, and mowers don't like it. So we'll go ahead and get everything into this ultrasonic cleaner and let that go for about 45 minutes, 30 minutes, somewhere in around that area. We'll come back to it in a little bit. Alright, let's see how this turned out. think that pin just dropped down in there. I'll have to fish that out. Get a little container here. A little warm. Let's see here. Alright, we'll blow all this out with air and clean all the surfaces off. We will get things put back together. Alright, let's get this back together. We got this plate that we put back on. This is where it's going to get a little tricky with getting this back in there without bending this too much. You just want to make sure your choke doesn't get bent too much. If that gets bent too much, it won't work properly, but it looks like we're okay. Alright, we got that back on. Plug this back together. Put this ground back on. Which holds that tin down as well. Okay. Now we're going to attach this fuel line. And your breather. Should have a couple of nuts down here. There they are. It's always bad when you lose your nuts. but we found them. So let's see. I think we will just see if we can get her started now. Now that the carburetor's clean, that emergency shutoff's not stuck anymore. So let me get you set up and we'll take a look and see if we can get it started. Alright, looks like it runs pretty good, so I'm going to go over a few other things and we'll check the deck and make sure the blades are sharp and all that stuff. So, alright, I got everything buttoned back up. Let's just go ahead and check the mechanics on everything. I did notice that the emergency engine stop had been disconnected, which is kind of typical. That just keeps it a little more safe. So if you get off the mower for some reason, the mower doesn't keep running, it shuts off. I like to go ahead and hook those back up. I mean, it's a little bit more safe. Anyways, let's go ahead and check the functions, see if the transmission is okay, see if the deck will fire up, and we'll go from there. everything is functioning properly. I guess about the only other thing that we need to go through is the deck. Belts looks okay to me. Probably just some new blades and clean it up a little bit. So really, that's about it for this one. I'll get it nice and detailed and get it for sale for later in the spring. But it's a pretty simple machine. It's not too complicated. It doesn't have a lot of fancy features. But you know, if you've got a small to, or I guess a medium-sized yard, and you want something a little bit easier than you know, push mower, this will definitely do the trick. So not a super huge cut, 42 inches, which, you know, is better than 22 if you're using a push mower, and plus you get to ride on it. So anyways, if you like these videos, I'm going to keep doing them. I'm enjoying doing them. Please, you know, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll get more content headed your way. So I hope you guys had a good time in the shop today and just learned a few new things. If you have any ideas, anything you'd like to see, just put it in the comments, and if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, I'll try to get back to you. So we will catch you next time.